We continue Unit 6, Solving Systems of Equations, with matrices. A matrix is a rectangular array of numbers enclosed by brackets. Here are examples of matrices. Each one of these is enclosed in brackets. The numbers in a matrix are called the elements of the matrix. The number of rows and the number of columns determine the dimensions of the matrix. The dimensions of a matrix are always written rows by columns. So what are the dimensions of the following matrices? We'll look at example 1. I have 1, 2, 3 rows and 2 columns. Since the dimensions of a matrix are always written row by column, the dimensions of example 1 would be 3 by 2. Example 2. How many rows do we have? There are 2 rows. How many columns do we have? 3 columns. So this matrix is a 2 by 3 matrix. If the elements along the main diagonal of a square matrix are 1s and the rest are 0s, this matrix is called the identity matrix. So looking at this example, this is a 4 by 4, same rows as columns. Looking at the diagonal from left to right, these are all 1s, all the rest of the numbers are 0s. This is called an identity matrix. In example 2, this is a 2 by 2 matrix. It is also an identity because the 1s are in the diagonal from top left to bottom right, and all the other elements are 0. 2 matrices are equal only if they have the same dimensions and the elements in all corresponding positions are equal. So we want to find the value of each variable. The value of x corresponds to the same row and column as the value 9. So x is equal to -9. Three is equal to 3. Y is equal to -2. And z is equal to -6. Systems of equations can also be written as a matrix equation. A matrix equation is an equation in which the variable stands for a matrix. We can use matrices and inverses to solve systems of equations. The coefficients make up the numbers in your first matrix. Remember, the coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables. Make sure that your matrices are written in alphabetical order. So all these matrices need to be, everything in the first column has to be an X, everything in the second column needs to be a Y, everything in the third column needs to be a Z, and everything in the last column are the answers to each individual equation. So 3 goes in this spot, 2, -1, remember this is understood to be a 1. The second row is for the second equation. Again, we write down just the coefficients. The third row, the third equation. The second matrix holds the variables x, y, and z. The first coefficient that we put in was an x, so the first variable should be an x. And then the last matrix is the right-hand side, 11, -3, and 8. Once the matrix is all set up, you can use the calculator to solve the system of equations. So this will be matrix A. and this will be matrix B. Use your calculator to solve the system of equations. First, let's set up our matrix A. The next matrix is the variables, x, y, and z, and it does matter the order. And the third matrix is the right-hand side of the equations. -9, 0, and 21 is matrix B. So I want to solve for x, y, and z. Let's clear out the calculator so that nothing is in the screen. Second plus 7, 1, 2. Now we set up the matrix from a while ago. That is not showing on my picture, but we're going to put those numbers in from the photable. So second matrix, or second inverse key, right arrow over to edit, choose A, enter. This is a 3 by 3 matrix. We plug in our coefficients, starting with the top left one in our matrix on paper, and every time we put our number in we hit enter. So 1, enter, will get me to the next number in the matrix. 1, enter, gives me to the next number in the matrix, and so on until I have all the numbers of my matrix. I do need to be very careful. If this is a negative, then I must have a negative in my matrix. If it is not a negative sign, don't put it there, or your matrix will not work. Make sure that the cursor is blinking down here at the bottom, not up here in the matrix. And second, quit. Second mode. Start again. Second matrix. Right arrow over to edit, arrow down to B, and select B. This is a 3 row by 1 column matrix. The numbers that go in here are -9, enter, 0, enter, 21, enter. And then second quit again. Now the directions say to get your answer matrix, second matrix, choose A, inverse. Second matrix, choose B, enter. The answer matrix is -9, 12, and 6. This is 3 rows by 3 columns. The dimensions of matrix A will be 3 by 3. Make sure that all your signs are correct and all your numbers correspond. These should all be X's in this column. These should all be Y's. These should all be Z's. The next matrix is the variable matrix, and the last matrix is for the right-hand side of the equations. And this is matrix B. Now that the equations are set up, let's use the calculator. Second matrix, right over to edit, and we already have an equation into our calculator this time because this was the previous one, so we need to change what we need to change. This is still a 3 by 3, so enter through there. Our first number should be -3, so just overwrite that, -3, enter, and it changes the number for us. This should be a -1, enter, 4, enter, 6, enter, 1, enter, -1, enter, 1, enter, -2, enter, 3, enter. Make sure your cursor is blinking out of the matrix, that it's down here blinking. And second mode, quit. Go back into the matrix again, second matrix. This time, right arrow to edit and arrow down and choose B. B is a 3x1 matrix, so I'm not going to change this, but I am going to change the numbers inside my matrix. +11, -5, and 0. Make sure the cursor is not up here blinking. And second mode, or second quit. To get our answer, second matrix, choose A, inverse. Second matrix, choose B, and enter. X is -1, Y is 4, and Z is 3. And this problem's done. Next equation. Set up this system of equations as a matrix. Again, the dimensions of this matrix are 3x3. The dimensions of matrix A will be a 3x3, 3 row by 3 column. Our variable matrix is x, y, z. And again, we need to make sure that all of these are x's. All of the second column is y. All the third column are z's. And the last matrix is the right-hand side of the equations. And that is our B. And this was a 3x1 matrix. Turning on our calculator. Second matrix. Right arrow to edit. Enter. This needs to be a 3x3, and it is, so 3, enter, 3, enter. Putting in our new coefficients. Make sure it's blinking out of the matrix. Go to second mode to quit. Let's clear out that one. That's the old previous matrix that we just solved. Second matrix, right arrow over to edit, arrow down to B, enter. This is again is a 3x1. We put in the right side of the equation. Second mode to get out. Go back into the matrix again. Second matrix, enter. Second inverse, inverse key. Second matrix, arrow down to B, enter, and enter one more time. We get 5, 2e to the -12th, and 3. This right here is the same thing as 0. So the answer matrix is 5, 0, 3. And that includes matrices.